Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakdown Podcast YouTube channel. My name's Corey, and with me today to break down the latest episode of The Bad Batch is my partner, Vic.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are happy to be here for episode 4 of The Bad Batch, titled Cornered.
Cornered and not so cornered. So, Vic, let's break this down.
Alright, so this week's episode of The Bad Batch features one of the newest characters in the Star Wars universe that we met for the first time in The Mandalorian. This week's episode, we find the Batch and Omega, they are out of supplies. For the first time in their careers or their existence, or whatever you want to consider, considering that they are clones and they've been around for a short amount of time, they don't have a resupply. Normally, they would go back to Kamino, they would resupply their attack shuttle, and then they would go out on the next mission. Well, now that they are basically on the run from the Empire and have no one to support them, they're having to do it for themselves. So they head down. They're planning on trying to hide out, but Omega talks them into going to Pantora to resupply. Upon landing, they run into a Sullustan dock guard, landing pad guard. I don't know what he would be exactly, but basically in Star Wars you have landing plane. You have basically, they're like giant garages. So you land there and they service your starship and they allow you to park there basically. And the guy is obviously a shyster, and he's like, yeah. If you don't want me to tell anybody that you're here and who you are, we can work something out.
Yeah, and then it takes him no time to turn on him.
Well,
as soon as he gets paid, he goes in the office and says, "Hey, here you go."
The best part about it was they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. You won't tell us, thanks." And they start to walk away. He's like, "Ahem." And you're like, what? Because they have no idea. Like, as skilled and dangerous as they are, when it comes to the everyday craziness and the everyday, like, street smarts, like, militarily, tactically, they are absolute, top-notch. But when it comes to the nuances of things and the way they're supposed to be done and how you grease palms and make sure people don't know where you are and who you are, they don't get that. So he's like, he hands them over his credits, and as soon as he walks away, the Sullustan guy just kind of turns around and calls, his contact, because he's on payroll with the bounty hunters.
Which I think was May.
It was Fennec Shen.
And yes, I keep calling her May because that's what I know her as.
Her name is Fennec Shen on the show. But yeah, he calls her because obviously we don't know, to be honest. So we don't know if it is the Caminos, the Kaminoans, which would be the two long necks. So it's either them or it is the Empire. The Empire is known for using bounty hunters, as we know. We find out a little bit how much they use them a little bit later on. But I actually think it's the Kaminoans trying to get her back because they need her.
I think so too.
They need her because, like I said, I believe that she is actually their third project that they're working on, which will get them the response they want from the Empire to be able to keep their position as their main source for supplies for supplying stormtroopers. So though she let her go, she needs to get her back now because it's literally like their last chance of making it. So she shows up on the planet. The Batch have kind of split up. Wrecker and Tech are working on the ship. Wrecker's not happy with that, and he's like, dude, out of everybody here, you're going to be the first one people notice. You stand out like a lump on a log. I'm sorry, but you got to stay. And Hunter and Echo head out. Echo is in disguise as a droid, because when he puts on the mask, he looks like a droid. He's got a robotic leg, a robotic arm, and he's got a mask that makes it look like a droid. So as they find a dealer who they can get their supplies from, he's like, yeah, none of this, I don't want any of this stuff. He's like, dude, this is a piece of explosive that's worth thousands of credits on the open market. And he's like, yeah, well, we're not doing that. We're a reputable place. Like, whatever, dude. And he's like, well, he goes, well, I'll take that droid off your hands for, 2,000 credits. And he's like, make it 4. He's like, 3. Like, I thought you were a reputable organization. Yeah. And he's like, all right.
Nobody in the Star Wars universe is reputable.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of it, Hunter agrees to it. He's like, yeah. He's like, we can do that. And Echo's like, I'm not a droid, dude. You can't sell me. He's like, dude, once the guy turns his back, you just walk out. Like, it's simple. So, of course, like, easy to... Obviously, Hunter is as shiesty as the rest of them. He's literally just going to rip this guy off. So he makes the deal, and he throws Echo back into the back room. And, dude, I have found one of my favorite new droids in the world.
Which one?
That little droid called Clank. It's the little R2 unit that has arms and legs.
Oh,
Did you notice him?
I didn't notice. I saw an R2
unit. There were 2 R2 units, and then there was another R2 unit. The third one, it was an R2 body, but it had little arms and little legs like Robbie the Robot. That third robot, that was it. Yeah, it was great. Like I saw him, I was like, oh my god. As much as I love R2-D2.
That's weird.
Like that little robot, like he caught my heart. But it also had, was it CG-67, I think her name was. That was the protocol droid that was there. And she was very upset that he put Echo in charge.
Yeah, the one that looked like C-3PO.
Yeah, the voice of that is actually the same girl who does, what's her name? Gray something. I don't remember her last name. Gray Griffin. Gray Griffin does the voice of Princess Amidala in Clone Wars. So a lot of the Clone War characters, a lot of Clone War voice actors are coming back and reprising roles and doing stuff. So that's who does that voice. So she came back and she did that voice for this. Basically, eventually, Fennec shows up. Omega wanders off because her stuffed animal got taken by a stupid little dog. And she tried to follow it. She got separated from Hunter. Hunter didn't notice, so his parenting skills are definitely not at top notch. But it's not what he's used to. He's still learning. We got to give him a chance to catch up with things. And Fennec shows up, and she kind of befriends Omega. Like it wasn't like she was. And I think part of it was like, I'll make her think I like her. I'll make her think she's I'm okay with her, and then I'll just take her off. No one will notice. And of course, Omega is so naive because, again, she's been raised inside of the one place, the only place she knows, which was on Kamino and at the cloning station. So, like, she doesn't know any better, and she's like, oh, you want to be my friend? Great. Okay. And then Fennec kidnaps her.
Yeah, I don't think that Fennec is actually bad. I don't think that she's working for the Empire. I think if it's not the long neck, the Caminos or whatever. Yeah. If it's not them, I think it's somebody.
I'll make it easy on them. Just call them the cloners.
The cloners, okay. Yeah, I can do that. If it's not them, it's going to be somebody else that's actually good. That's for I don't know who else would know about her, but I don't think she's doing it because we've seen her in Mandalorian, so we know she's not technically evil.
Oh, yeah, but when we met her in Mandalorian, she was being hunted down. So she has a bounty on her head. But this is what I think. Yeah. I think that part of that bounty is going to be the fact that she turns on the Empire when it's all said and done. I think that there's a possibility that she ends up working for the Empire like most other bounty hunters do. I think she's going to turn on them, and because of that, she ends up. Oh, this cat, dude! I swear to God. I'm gonna freaking. Anyway, I think that she's gonna turn on whoever hired her, and in doing so, she's gonna basically piss off the Empire, and she's gonna end up getting hunted herself. And in getting hunted, she gets captured, and that's how we end up seeing her in The Mandalorian after the Empire falls. So,
what if her storyline on this ends with her on the planet?
That's
so it does.
I think it ends up with her.
Out that full line.
It ends up with her hiding out on Tatooine. And then eventually getting captured and hunted down, because that stupid bounty hunter kid shows up there to get her. So I think that when it's all said and done, when all of this plays out, she's gonna go and hide out on Tatooine like we see her in The Mandalorian. But I think that we probably will get to see what the pre-story to that is, and that's why I'm really
Right.
happy. I was actually kind of surprised that they brought her in so quickly, but I'm really happy to see that we actually have her in there because we know that she ends up being a quote unquote good guy, even though at the
Right.
end of the last season of Mandalorian, she was basically murdering Twi'lek slave girls, and you know, it's a slippery slope, but we'll see what happens.
Well-
But when it's all said and done, they get Omega back. Fennec fails, but she's still on the hunt for them, and when
And they
comes
fly
out-
off, and that's the end of the episode. So we had basically a filler episode.
Well,
I
we
mean,
got
other
some
than
good
introducing,
we got some good Easter eggs. We got a new character, a new old character, one we've seen before, but this is the first time we've seen her on the show. We got to see a lot happening. As much as it is a filler episode, like you say, the filler that's there is filling in the blanks of things that we don't know about certain characters. So I think that they all end up being rather informative episodes, and there's some good Easter eggs in there. I enjoyed the episode.
I was just like, by the time the credits rolled, I'm like, wait, that's it? Because it was just really starting to get actiony, and you just cut it off. I felt this was kind of a weak episode.
But
yeah,
dude, there was a really
There-
good vibe. Like there was a feel from episode 2, where you had the of the actual movies where you had the chase through Coruscant, where they're chasing after the bounty hunter that tried to kill Amidala. You kind of get that feeling where he's chasing after Fennec and her, them falling off of the cargo sled, like all this stuff. It was a lot to me. There seemed to be a lot there. I enjoyed the episode. You obviously didn't get as much out of it as I did, but I've got, as you can all see behind me, a Star Wars brain. So everything I saw in this episode, I was just like, ah. It would be like you seeing something interesting in a wrestling episode that I wouldn't have any idea had any context. And then be like, okay, so yeah, what about it? He just came running down and hit the guy. So, like, yeah, but five seasons ago, he did the same thing to him. He came running down, he hit him with that same exact chair, the dent's still in it. You'd be all excited about that. You'd be all over that. That's what this was for me.
Maybe so, but it is what it is. So we got another episode next week. So before we go, we do want to let you know you can watch our show live on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's twitch.tv/MillerKing_51. The link is in the description below. Please be sure to hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button as well. And on behalf of Vic,
that's me.
I'm Corey. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.